Hi, folks. How you doing? Awesome. My name is Sonya Renee Taylor, and I am the founder and radical executive officer of The Body Is Not an Apology, an international movement and organization focused on radical self-love and body empowerment as the foundational tool for social justice and global transformation. Just up to some little stuff. My instigation is when systemic oppression, inequity, and injustice are eradicated, I believe we will absolutely eradicate them. Will we be equipped to create a new world? What will we need and how will we get there is what I'm most interested in. About a month ago, Black Lives Matter activists attempted to get inside of a Hillary Clinton rally, and they were stopped at the door and put into a side room, which I think is its own interesting piece of information. But she did grant them audience later on and said to them, look, I don't believe you change hearts. I believe you change laws, you change allocation of resources, you change the way systems operate. You're not going to change every heart. You're not. Only to follow up last week and then tell a room full of LGBT activists that they changed her heart. I was like, that's fascinating. Sometimes all you can do is notice, right? What happens when we don't change hearts? What happens when we don't change hearts? If you're looking at these images, what we're looking at is a world of unchanged hearts. Right? A world where we changed some laws, right? We changed that law that meant that my ancestors came here in shackles, and then we changed it, and then it meant that my ancestors exited and entered out of back doors and had dogs sicked on them. We saw indigenous people who are the rightful owners of this land be horrifically massacred, murdered, and displaced. We've seen internment camps for Japanese Americans. We've seen the U.S. being the world's leading jailer. We've seen Ahmed be taken away in shackles for building a clock. We've seen costumes that mimic and joke domestic abuse and violence. This is what happens when we don't change hearts. We changed laws. We changed all of these laws. Right? And we still live in this world that does this. And so, it's actually essential that if we want a different world, that we have to have changed beings. We actually have to transform us. Otherwise, we will continue to create what it is we have already created. The brilliant revolutionary Grace Lee Boggs says, being a victim of oppression in the United States is not enough to make you revolutionary, just as dropping out of your mother's womb is not enough to make you human. People who are full of hate and anger against their oppressors or who only see us versus them can make a rebellion, but not a revolution. Therefore, any group that achieves power, no matter how oppressed, is not going to act differently from their oppressors as long as they have not confronted the values that have internalized and consciously adopted different values. If we don't change us, we don't change the world. The Body Is Not an Apology is focused on what we call radical self-love, and we believe that radical self-love is the foundational access to radical human love. And without radical human love, we change systems, we change laws, and we don't change the world. We change the configuration of oppression to be more appealing, to be more palatable, to be more digestible. While the people who are living under the circumstances of those oppressions don't have more palatable, more digestible lives. Eric Garner did not have a more digestible life. He had a disposable life on a street in New York City. We did not change hearts. And so we believe that shifting, I love that this Radical Presence exhibit is here right now because radical is about going from the root or origin. It's fundamental indifference. It's extreme. It favors drastic political, economical, and social reforms. It's the forming basis and foundation, and it exists inherently. That is the kind of love that we have to be manifesting in ourselves and in the world to create anything that is going to be sustainable when we eradicate the horrors that currently exist. I believe we will eradicate them. Will we be prepared to create something new? Thanks.